Part 2 of this drawing session of Rembrandt the Self-Portrait, and as you can see, this is the drawing we got so far in part 1, and this is what we're trying to strive for. So we first switched it to gray color mode, grayscale, and you know that grayscale is a lot easier to appreciate than let's say color, because grayscale has one mode of tonal values, which is black and white. Yeah, so grayscale in there. As you can see here, I can use the grayscale here, but the first pass of our drawing was done with the line brush set to 80%, but you could use 100%, no problem, because it'll still pick up the color tones when you're doing block coloring. So this is what we got so far, and in our first pass, and that was pretty good, you have to admit, for 25 minutes effort. 30 was pretty fast, and I am fast because I have done this more than you have. So what's the next step? Next step is I'm going to continue with this line brush, and I'm going to show you shading. Shading meaning blending, I should say. So let's take this to 30%. Take this up a bit, the size, and let's see what we can do. Stick to our drawing canvas, and then let's see if we can somehow shade this. You know, these colors are showing up. See how it's wonderfully shading. And the smell looks less choppy, right? Would you agree? It looks less choppy. You can take it down to have more control. There. See how we're somehow, and check the initial drawing and see. Then you can take it down even and get more of that black, but somewhat shaded. See how that compares with the rest? So just a little bit of effort. You can add this. So how is this working, you're probably wondering? Well, it's fairly easy. You'll see it in a lot of my tutorials where I use blending like this. And the way it works is that think of this as a HB gradient pencils. So this is like really hard pencil, and this is like ink level, right? That's why I'm saying it can be more powerful than the pencil and paper, and I would know that. I'm qualified to make that statement because I'm good at pencil drawing, just traditional, just as with digital. So I'm qualified to make that statement. People who have not done it and make judgments are not qualified to make statements like this. So I can't tell you it's more powerful. And the reason it's powerful is because you can set this setting way more with more granularity than you can with HB pencil. So it gives you such sophisticated control. And I'll show you a drawing that I did using that. Let's go to, and it was photorealistic drawing. This one, it was done freehand. Look at the control of the degree of gradations of black and white. Isn't that wonderful? Huh? Yeah, that's the degree of, and that was done on my phone in landscape mode. Okay. So that's was done with freehand, but I'm showing here so you can learn. So let's look at this drawing here. So we got a little bit of a dark going on here, like here. Ooh, what happened? No, I did forgot to change. That's silly me. I'm going to change that. Bring it all the way down. So that means you have a very high degree of control over the shading, apart from the fact that you have this as well, okay, on this grayscale. So if you, for example, keep this setting here, let's say, on the grayscale, and then you use this gradation to get the exact tone, you'll find that you won't go beyond the gradation of this. So even no matter how hard you try, you're not going to go beyond that, because that's the 100% level. But if you're here, dark, there, you can reach that. So you have to understand and aware of that, okay? But it comes with practice. It's perfectly fine. So now let's continue using the gradation here. Take it down 20%, 18%, just to finish the background, okay? There. See, that's beautiful, it's working. There. We can take it up more. There. Then I want to get that little dark edge that he has around his hat here. And now you can't tell, it looks like a wonderful background. And then he has a different color here, not completely black. And pick the adjacent colors and then just diffuse it out. Look at that. No tool, just right there. And then what have we got here? We've got a little bit of a darker here going on here. So that's what we're going to do. Let's take that down so we have more control. A more high degree of control, okay? This is what you learn as you go, okay? And then let's pick this color and just blend it there, okay? And now let's look at his wonderful strokes of the master strokes he's done with this. Could be leather, could be a cloth, okay? So let's take that up here just to get these shades, and let's experiment. So to experiment, here's what we're going to do. We've got this corner shoulder pad, and we're going to switch between the reference. This is key to learning this is really key. So let me have a look. People are joining us. Okay, there's a few, handful. Anyway, so let's go here and put some of these no, that's a little too big, so we're going to take that down as well. Let's see if we can get the effects that he wanted us to get on his right there. Well, we can get those effects. Look at that, it's just like doing a brush stroke. Isn't it wonderful? Just like doing a brush stroke, but we're trying to capture some of that elements of his jacket in the way he meant. See the darker areas there? So we can crisscross and make that darker. Okay. And then let's see this area there. Look, it's got that very light area. And looking at that, and then he's got this color going on here. Just continuously go over it. Create that. This is all about creating the similarity, not completely the same, but just the similarity of it. Okay. Then it's got darker here, and we know the shoulder pads has this. Look at that. He's even got that crease mark on his, the very crease mark here. Let's try and go halfway house and create the margin for that. And then we could, if you want to learn a bit more, is go straight for that color on the grayscale and just add it. Right, just add it there, just like he meant to do it on his. Right there. Look at that. He's got this going on at the back. Lovely white. So just think of it like a brush. And then he's got this plain, simple color that's going down. And then we could increase the density and increase the size naturally, right? And it's got something going on there. Perfect. It looks like the shoulder end. And then it's got a dark area there. So it looks like the edge of his shoulders, right? And then let's pick some more of these very light colors there. Okay. There. Very good. And now we have there. Okay. You can see now. Let's have a look to see. You see how we created that shoulders? Wonderful, isn't it? How you can do with a little bit of effort. And now we're going to go all the way here and see the brush size we need. Check our drawing. Our drawing is not quite there yet. And then got a 2.7%. And then I'm going to take that. And then he's got some light colors going on here. Right, this is really improving your tonal understanding. And then he's got a little bit there, and it's got a very reflective white patch here. So what I'm going to do here is take that. Ooh, too big, right? So I'm going to take that. That's too, and it's too. Take that here, and it's too thick. How about that? Right, it doesn't have to be exact. to his shape. He's got it here. Yeah, I think I'll leave it here. What do you say? And then he's got another tad amount there. So just leave it like that. And then you got this mark there going on here. So you think that there's hardly any details of his jacket, but look at the attention we're paying. And we have to pay attention to this world-renowned artist. The number of times his name comes up is incredible, isn't it? I would say he's one of the most cited artists in the world, apart from Pablo Picasso and all the others, you know the ones I'm talking about. There you are. So what have we got here? We've got a nice little grey patch. So let's increase that. Right. Right. These all make up the difference. That's all we're doing. Is adding volume, shape, depth to this. The very aim of what Rembrandt wanted in his painting, in his self-portrait. And again, here. And then just change the brush size. Look, it's quite dark there. So we can get that dark color. See, we didn't quite do it. We had a large brush. So let's get the large there. And then let's see what we got here. A little fold here. This is it. It's all about observation and using the tools you have. That's all it is. And then we have here. And then for the face, we're gonna either use the shade brush, and I did say I was gonna use the shade brush, or depending on how I'm thinking the painting should go, I may change it. See, it's all black here. And I got a pretty big brush, in my opinion. And got that. That's going there. And now we're going to get that brush size down again. Now let's see. Yes. Wherever you see that, you've got to be truly observant. Look, he even had these threads type going on. He knew he was a master of light. He had to be to draw all these figures, very complex figures. He spent quite a bit of time, so he needed to be a master of the tone. And remember, he was also at a disadvantage that he needed to create his own paint. But he's probably not at a disadvantage, I would say, because he had a lot of assistants helping him. So it's not like he had to do everything himself. Look at that here. So what we can do is pick up that tone here and then increase that brush size. just pick that uniform color for now, don't worry. And then let's pick up this grey tone. He adds to that, giving that multi-dimensional effect. Yeah, okay. So let's go here now. Where are we? Look at that, it's got texture. So it is not leather. It seems to be like a texture going. And this is the beauty of using this density setting, because it allows you to create this. It's not like an ink drawing. So I take that down, and then you can add these textures. See how it works? Let's see what we have here. Look at all these wonderful textures going on with this painting. We grabbed the right texture there. And then look at that wonderful texture of his. You think it was just a plain old cloak. Ooh, changed. Shouldn't have changed. I had a nice color there already. But it's alright. Then we have this, just add the texture. And then the black here. Then we'd probably have done a good job. Just building up these black tones, giving it more body. Right? And here, giving it more body. You're not going to get anything if you don't try. Okay? So it's a little bit, again, he used side crossing here with this brush. And he's bringing out these wonderful, tiny miniature grayscale textures. And it's not very, it's very subtle. Believe me, it's very subtle because I know the tones that I'm coming out with this. Let's have a look. See, we got something of the form of a jacket, isn't it? Which is really wonderful. Now let's look at this here. He's got things going on here, so we can just crumple it up. So you can see right away that that didn't matter. It's almost like using a squiggly. It's not like making it so straightforward. It's giving us the illusion there may be creases, and hence it's not. So realism is a lot to do with there. You see how we got beautifully into that, the black and white. See here's how we captured some of that. Now we're going to capture some of the middle elements. You see here we haven't quite, when I looked at it, I didn't quite capture that light element going on right here. We want to capture that. We've probably got the right brush size. Right, let's see what happens. We've got the right brush size, probably a little too big. Right. And then I can, right there. What do you say? I think that's beautiful. See what a little bit of that, those little subtle colors can do. It's incredible, isn't it? It's got that fading into the background. Look at that. fading into the background. And then we'll do his middle section. Wow, he's even got these beautiful bubbles. These buttons, not button, I should say, but buttons, not bubbles. And then you can just make out his that shoulder pad, the right shoulder pad, left shoulder pad. And that's amazing, isn't it? And then here, it's worked out quite nicely actually. Quite pleased with it so far. This gives me more confidence. Gives me more confidence. It really does give me more confidence, honestly. Right, look at that. We can go on and on, of course, but now we've got to do this neck bit. I'm really excited to do that. So let's take a quick couple of minutes break, and then we'll resume in about 5 minutes, let's say. Yeah, think about it, how I did that. Maybe it'll give you a chance to have a play with yours. So 5 minutes break. Thank you. Hello there, and welcome back. We'll resume where we last left off. As you can see, this one we used a low setting of the line brush. As you can see, 26% and thereabouts, right? And then 2.7% for the brush. And then we managed to create all these lovely strokes by picking the color tones and then transferring it to here, giving the impression that this is part of that. Wonderful robe that he's wearing, isn't it? So we're going to carry on right up to his neckline, yeah? So let's see what we've got here. Let's have a good look at what we have. We've got to create these lovely details. So in order to do that, let's pick the main color here and just form that. If you're not sure where it is, just go halfway so you can see part of the, yeah. So this is a really good idea to find out and get a feel for where the borders lie for this area. Yeah, so you can just do this, trace. This is an excellent way of, and then just get the feel of where it is. Otherwise we'll have to second guess where his neckline is. Right there. Just do these. And you can always, you don't have to do what I'm doing with that, but I'm just showing you the power and techniques of learning. Okay, so now we're going to go here. So we've got a bit of the line area. Now look here, look what we've got here. Okay, I believe this brush needs to go down even more, down to 2%. And then I'm going to switch back and forth. Right, just create these marks, wonderful marks that are showing up. If you can't get that white mark, just move here. That's too thick. You can see right away that it's too, not just thick, but it's too there. You could use that and get away with it, right? And then bring just a little bit at a time. Don't get carried away. Look at these masterful strokes that he's done. And you see we're focused just on the robe. We're not even tackling his area of his face yet, the most prominent part. And it's got that dark areas. We're just picking up these tones, just like we did for the rest of the robes. And then it's got this lovely, and then it gets a little bit darker. This is how you truly understand tones. You can see it's hardly so subtle, but yet it adds to the total. This is what people when they were young could see, which you couldn't see at your school. They can see this, but you don't see it, and so you dismiss it that drawing is a born skill. And it's very easy to do that, isn't it? Born skill, because then you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to feel a little degraded. You know, it gives you reassurance, but then don't carry it to the rest of your life, because you're going to be dismissing everything as a something people are born with. You know, born mathematician, born this. They're not born with that. They just happen to be keeping their mind open. I was a very good mathematician. I was very good at electronics. I was very good in a lot of things. See how we're creating that? Look at these beautiful lines. I think we got there earlier, didn't we? Look at that. We're right here near his neckline now. Let's get that white going on here. Then if it's not capturing the white, then you bring that white down here. That's it. Take it up there. He played with, he was obviously a master of his tools. He's not going to let the tools decide how he's going to do it. That's the unfortunate thing about digital, is that they allow the tools to do everything for them. They're looking for the brush, the texture, everything. Create the texture, for heaven's sakes. So let's get this line here. Whatever that is. Okay. Let's see. Have fairy colors that you need. Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it? How he's captured that. So you can give them this. Yeah, I'm alternating between the mid position and I want to make sure that I have the features I'm looking for here. Can you see that? There's a bit of a black tone that goes here, and then he's got this tone that's going on here. A little pushing back that black. It's hard to see, but believe me, there's a lot of things going on here, right? And they all add up to the details. This is the subtleties of drawing, and I'm pretty good at drawing, so I can see these nuances. Look at that strap. It almost looks like a strap, doesn't it? And then he's got this color going on here, and then we can go to the midpoint and get those colors, that the grayish tone. Keep it very tight, localized. Don't venture too fast into other regions. See how we captured that? And here. So you can do it two ways, I'm showing you. And then we have to do that lovely button that he's got. See that? See this, my drawing? And then this goes all the way See, it goes all the way up here. So let's lift it back a bit. There. Okay. So let's get the first elements of there. Let's see how we're doing. It's not bad. It's coming together, isn't it? It must have been cold because it's definitely got something thick, a thick garment. Let's have a look here. See that? So we're gonna try and go to the midpoint so we can see the partial reference image. So just get the gist of it. Not exactly 100%, just get the gist of it. Right, because then we need the shape. Yeah, I understand that the shape is really important to this, to capture the essence of this paint drawing, right? I'm still contemplating whether, there, can you see it? That's actually, can you see our drawing in this one? You can see, so we can carry on. Follow, you see how I follow the thread or the direction of the, very important you do that because it gives you the same intended strokes. Direction of strokes, which they don't talk about in fundamentals, is really important. I do that for everything. The direction of the strokes. So I can alternate between my and you see here he's got, this is almost straight line, right? So giving that sharp, and then we can increase it, put that border that there, and then pick that color and just add it, giving the same illusion. And then he's got that darker color just below it, like it's a border. And he has this, remember it's telling you the direction there, gives that texture. We didn't think that we were going to spend that much time on his wardrobe, but this is the subtleties of drawing. We're just transferring these tones that he did in the same manner that we're not probably in the same manner, obviously used the brush, but we're paying attention to detail like you've never done before. That's just a little bit there. Just get that gist of that white color. Look at these dark tones there, and then look at that tone here. Then change it. Get a little lighter if you're not getting it. Get that tone. And then here. And then here, look at that tone there. So thin, isn't it? We might need to go down and add that thin tone. Let's see. Even thinner, I think. And then a bit more white. So it's here. Then just get that border and then this area. And then let's get that black there. So we got roughly the right size shape. Okay. It's not as, this actually needs a little bit more of hardness, oomph setting. I call it more oomph. Right there, can see it there. Maybe we need to bring it down. Can you see how you become so used to the settings that you get so entwined with the setting. It's unbelievable how fine-tuned you become, and that's fundamentally the reason why you can make photorealistic drawings, because you understand these tones. There's another famous artist who actually mixed color paint, who talks about tones a great deal, because he appreciates that tones are fundamental to painting, drawing. Look at that, how we've captured that, isn't it amazing? So I'm contemplating whether we should stick to the line brush or move to the shade brush to do his face. And I'm thinking, since we're getting so skillful with our line brush, we'll stick to the line. Notice I haven't accessed any tools apart from this set of tools, and I managed to create something like that. There's no way you're going to use digital tools. This is techniques, and this is not an image manipulation. As flattered as I am, it's my drawing. This is my drawing. This is Rembrandt. My drawing by hand. Rembrandt. My drawing. Rembrandt. Okay? Okay, and we're going to continue drawing his face, but it's worth it. We're now going to go towards his face, and so using the line brush, I'm going to stick to the line brush. I like the line brush. I'm going to save this actually, and this is a prototype, so you don't have to do this. Just save it and open it now and then. But this is a prototype app that we're sort of testing to roll out to a new version of the app with some new features. So okay, so now we're on this painting. Let's go ahead, look it up, and let's see if we can get a real good handle. 1.23%, 30%, okay? So I'm going to draw his face using this. So I'm going to zoom in, look, I'm 20%. Right, I'm going to draw his face. But first, before I draw his face, I'm going to pick some of the tones so I know roughly where his lips are, and then pick some of his other tones. Right. Right. So I'm going to actually increase the density here, and then I'm just basically going to get more. So this is because I'm trying to teach you. I'm not doing it because I can do it, because I know I can do it. But look what I'm doing. I'm actually doing block coloring at a very minuscule level, and I'm doing that for a good reason, because I used a bigger broad brush. Remember when I was going through my first pass, and now I'm using a smaller brush to go through his. So just watch me. What I'm doing is 1.2% picking his colors and getting more of his wonderful colors of the face, the tones of his face, just right. Just watch me, right? Then you try it. Look, basically keeping such a tight localize, and I'm using 50%. And the reason I'm using 50% is that I don't want to be going over it again and again, because I'm going to come back to it to do the details and the other fine tuning of the tones. Yeah. Right. So all I'm doing is just laying down some of the tones. And you can do this because you're actually learning. So don't worry about getting an exact match. Just do scribbling action. Now you can do the same thing, scribbling action. So basically what you're doing is getting these very tight tones around his face. You'll see what an improvement that is around his chin and his lips, right? Now we can focus on his right eye and watch how wonderfully this works. It's a very small brush, 1.2, right? So just clearing his, just keeping it tight. You don't even have to worry about what you're seeing. Just do this bit by bit around his face, bit by bit around his face. Don't even refer to the image. Just pretend you're taking the, brush and then you're just laying down. It's like pointillism, if you've heard that term. You're just laying down tones in that area. It's very close to hyperrealism. You're just putting down tones. Right, just scribble, scribble, color picker, scribble, scribble around the eyes. Scribble, 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 scribble around the eyes. Again, color picker, scribble, 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 scribble. Okay, let's do it again. Scribble, 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 scribble. What's happening is you're picking up the tones at that resolution. Don't take a brush here and then suddenly move there, because these are the tones exactly in this tiny region. So now you can see how tones work, right, in practice. So don't say that it's become academic now. It's a practical thing now, to appreciating tones. And it's that tonal understanding that allowed me to draw, like I showed you earlier, of his wardrobe. And watch out what his red right eye will come. You'll be like shocked. We'll do part of his nose as well. Look. See that? You can see his right face is almost. Now let's focus on his left eye and we'll see how well we get that again. Little strokes at a time. Just tiny strokes. Pick the color picker, and as a guide, just go over those blank areas that you left behind. You don't have to go over everything here. And just when you get close to the eye, do more localized So I meant to do the shade brush, but I ended up doing this, which is fine in my opinion. Because I'm not teaching you complex. I just want to keep it simple for you guys so you enjoy it, so you don't run off and blame the whole world on a born talent. So you can see for yourself that this is easily doable. Okay, so just, you saw what it looked like, so now take a look at what it looks like when you do a localized miniature block coloring. You can call it that, miniature block coloring. Let's see. See that? That's now turning into, beginning to look like Rembrandt. And now we can do his face. So this didn't require any experience as such. So again, we're going to do the same thing. Right, just. And then we're going to, you might think, God, I can see how this is going. I can get better even with a reduced brush size. Yes, you're thinking now. Less than 1.2, below 1%. Can you believe it? Just having fun with this. So remember, we've got a pretty high density. So that is beginning to look really a bit like the Rembrandt, isn't it? But not quite there. And we'll get there. Don't worry about it. We'll get there. We've hit the 2-hour mark, but we're not too worried about that. Let's now increase the brush size and finish off the hat. Right there. Just finish off this hat, so it doesn't pose any problems. Right there. Let's see if we've got a good hat. If it's not quite working, just pick different tone, just to give it sort of form and dimension and shape. That's what they used to do. So they used to wear a lot of hats in those days. It was probably a cultural thing. See, what I'm doing here is picking the out. Okay. No, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. Let's do this curly hair on the left, shall we? Now let's do this. Let's play with this. And let's take that down to 2.5. And let's take that down to 33. And still do the same thing. Point block coloring. See if we can get this down to what we're looking for, the tones. Yeah. the tones we're looking for. Notice I'm following a curly stroke of the... I always have a habit of doing that. Always follow the direction of the stroke. Let's see if we manage to produce this fairly curly hair, right? Keep it very tightly localized. It's a small brush, 2.2%. It might be even smaller if we want to get the detail, but let's see if we've managed to capture some of that. No, we didn't, did we? So let's shift our focus on that forehead. It's beginning to look like the Star Trek character, you know? What do you call them? The Klingon, isn't it? Yeah, so we need to do that. So we got this brush, 33. Let's take it down to 26. Let's just experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment. For heaven's sakes. Don't be afraid to experiment. You have to experiment. Don't think everything's going to be given on a plate for you. That's the problem why many people fail, because they think everything should be handed on a plate. How are you going to learn if you don't experiment? The artists that you saw when you were a school kid always were very, very good in experimenting and getting feedback and improving their techniques. This, by the way, is going to help you tremendously in any art mediums, not just digital, and even in traditional. Look, we haven't done what happened there. Look how it's always dark. See? I wasn't so sure if we could see our drawing. We could. You obviously had to work this through quite a bit, you know, because the oils, you needed to work through it. So we got that brush. Remember this setting, 26% density. Keep that in mind, because I want to show you how this is relevant. Okay, let's see what we've got here. It still looks like a Klingon to me, I'm afraid. So we're gonna have to force get those out the way, isn't it? Let's see how this looks. Because this is, obviously it took his time in doing this, isn't it? Let's see if we got, yeah, we managed to get almost, not quite, but almost. But you can tell it's looking so much better than before, isn't it? Let's clear this area that we did. You remember when we did that? I'm going to diffuse that. Right, so it doesn't look at, yeah, lovely. Wonderful. So now I'm going to save that. We've still got to cling on first. We've got to get his head down. So we're going to open him up again. We're just 10 minutes above, so you don't mind. Because this is one of the most famous painters in the world. I'm going to do justice to this guy, isn't it? So now let's go here. See what we have here? So let's do a bit of the our own techniques. You can see here, I'm going to take it down 1.4, and then I'm going to get these colors. That's not probably working. And then I'm going to, I'm just, sorry, I'm switching back here. I'm going to get these tones that he has going on there. And I'm going to keep improving there. Can you see all these textures? You think textures were done with brush? Totally wrong. Textures are done by hand. So I'm taking it. Wow, look at that. I'm getting really into the thick of this. That brush size is even too big. So I'm going to take that up to 28. And then I'm going to switch back and forth to do his crease marks there. And here you can see what I'm doing. I'm adding these marks that make him up. Right there. Then I can get this mark here. Add that, and then I can take this away. Right, and then I can add these little marks here, and then you can see it's not quite the way it's supposed to be, so we're not going to spend too much time. See what I'm doing there? I'm picking the tones to create the little patches that Rembrandt made to make it look see, this is the darker color. Right, so we can get these subtle tones. You see how I got his open, his eyelid here? Because we know the eyelid looks like that. He captured a lot of these details, these subtle details that make up the whole face. And we're going to do justice to this guy, you know, this world famous guy, who's no longer with us sadly, but his work continues. His appreciation of art continues. You can see we can take out the Klingon look he has. See that? You can see it's almost like his contorted skin, old age skin that we're gonna try and capture, right? Then it's got that bit. Then it's got this lovely tone here. Right. See, I'm trying to create the shape, the tonal textures. Right there. Okay. And then look at that, his nose. So I'm going through it rapidly now using this, using my appreciation. And I want you to practice with this. And this is how you can make really impressive drawings in freehand once you've learned this technique. See, I'm not using tools, I'm drawing. And I hate it when some artists, they're not even artists, they're clueless people who come and say that it's got no soul. See? Right there. And then here. So we're just going over it quick because I don't want to spend too much time. Let's increase it a little bit so I can do it quickly, right? This is his neck, I believe. And this is, and remember, he's got this lovely rocket, the white. Yes, we need to capture that, isn't it? So we're going to do that. Let's go here and finish. Keep it tight as well. Don't venture too far. Right there. And then, oh, look at that. I haven't even got the shadow in his cheek. See that? There. And then that line that's coming across here. Drawing that. This is real drawing. You want to call it anything else, go ahead. I know it's real drawing. Look how he captures this. Amazing, isn't it? You can see, you can go into the mind of this artist and see what he does, right? Gotta do justice to this guy, isn't it? One of the most renowned painters in the world. Yeah, we're gonna do justice. That's our canvas, yeah. So, and it's got these black marks going on. Not black, but dark. And then you can see it's coming here. Just beautiful shadow drops down. I mean, of course, we're using a very limited time of what we can do, but you can do a lot of damage. Not damage, but you know what I'm saying. With just your brush. Right there. You knew the essence of drawing. I'm pretty sure he was a bloody good with his pencil. Could tell because the way he uses mastery of his strokes. Let's do this lips. Let's see if we got his lips right. See, I was drawing then. I wasn't really dabbing. I'm just doing it for quickly to finish this. There's nothing like his lips there. So we need to increase that. I want to get this finished. So there's darker tone here. Then there's darker tones here. Right? Dark tones here. Then he's got this. Then this color coming down. Then he's got this tone. Just so a lovely white tone. Let's have a look. That's not bad, is it? You gotta admit, that is pretty good. At least we've got his alien, Klingon forehead out the way. There's so much you can do, obviously. We don't have time. Captured the essence of this guy, isn't it? I think I'm going to call it. What do you think? I think it's a pretty well done drawing for 2 hours effort, I believe, right? So I'm going to put my name on it. I don't know what you think, but, put my name on it and Paintology and call it a day. There might be people who come and say they're all sabotaging the famous paintings, all the famous paintings. So there you are, black and white, the self-portrait of Rembrandt. And I think you can see how fast I was going, changing, switching. This is where you get to when you have a real feel for what's going on. So try and get a feel for it. Don't let yourself drag you there. Follow your intuition that comes into your head, and then just let that carry on. And even the bushel of hair on his right works out quite nicely. It looked odd at first, right? But now his bushel of hair is looking all right. I'm okay with that. So there you are. I hope you really enjoyed this, and I'll bring you another one soon. Please subscribe and follow me, and bookmark the pages, and I will bring you another tutorial tomorrow, and hope to see you then. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.